That's what this shit is, bro.
Bruh.
Like,
When they told me Nicki Minaj couldn't rap, I was like, so
who said
that's where
that?
we're at now.
Who said
Like
that?
Nicki,
Who said that? That's my dead ass question.
no,
Who said that?
the younger, when I was talking to some younger people, well, some of my son's friends a couple years ago, and it was like that was the consensus. Nicki was out of there. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
oh, she's
I
whack. I'm like,
would never
really?
say she.
So we in an era
Okay,
where Nicki and M are whack.
I can get why the younger generation could see she's whack, right? But she can't. Like to say she can't rap is false. Is false, right? That's the problem. Is Nicki? We've established you can rap. We get it. Like that was her problem up until probably this newest album, the Pink Tape 2. Pink Tape, yeah, Pink Tape 2 or Pink Friday, whatever the fuck it was called. Is it's like, all right, Nicki, we got it. You can
You can
rap.
rappity rap.
You can, yeah, like not only can you rap, like
what's up, Robotech?
like not only is you clearly the greatest female rapper. Kudos to you, Nicki. Like you up there.
What's up, Nelly Nails?
What female rapper can out rap Nicki? Like, did you know?
Hey, I think she's top tier. That doesn't mean we got a big age gap between us. That's like
just put one up there. Say a name. Say a name that you would argue.
Lauryn Hill.
The fact that you can't put in there. I don't think has better bars.
Remy. Oh, bars. No. Lauryn may. Bars, no, Remy doesn't, but Remy can go.
The Remy can go. I'm not saying Remy's. I'm not trying to take any shade against Remy, but like I think Nicki Minaj is the Eminem of the female game, right? Nicki Minaj to the point where
so
like, okay,
disrespectful. That's so different. Wait. Nicki Minaj is Eminem. Eminem's not even. Eminem is not even the Eminem of his category.
What?
What are you talking about? Like Eminem's clearly the greatest.
He came in hot.
Skill at rapping. The skill in rapping.
Wait. Eminem is what?
He's the greatest skill at rapper. Who are you going to talk about? Like, see, this is the problem with you, Chicago.
So we don't know. So we don't. So we're not going to show the respect. We're not going to show the respect mandated for LP. One half of the excellent group, Run the Jewels.
First off, Killer Mike got dope with age. Woo!
But he's
that boy got phenomenal with age.
You know, Killer Mike has been dope on features forever, right?
But Run the Jewels is a whole man. Have you, dude?
No, but you know what he is? He is like, and I heard someone say this, right? There needs to be a category for his rap, right? And nothing's wrong with it, but it's called dad rap, right? That's what it is. Like that, like mom rock, which is like Coldplay.
Oh my god,
that's what Killer Mike is. He is rap for you middle-aged black men who was upper middle class / middle class, who y'all grew up in his era, but y'all not about that life no more. So y'all remember what it was like to be about that, but y'all not. That's what Killer Mike raps about. Killer Mike raps for people like Icon.
And disrespectful at the same time.
Killer Mike raps for people like Icon, right? That's what he raps for.
So you have listened to Run the Jewels, not just the singles, but you.
Yeah, Killer Mike's album. Like I didn't listen to his new album. I didn't think it was rap album of the year. It's good, but I mean, I didn't think it was better than the Metro Boomin Future album. I didn't think it was better than I thought as a down year for rap albums this year. I didn't think it was better than the Metro Boomin.
It's kind of. I'll say this. Rap is heavily influenced by Drake when he doesn't put out a rap album. And all rappers suffer because they don't know who to mimic. He's quite the thought leader in that process.
Funny.
He's quite the thought leader in that process.
But Drake and 21 Savage didn't put because look, Drake and 21 Savage did not put an album in 2023, and no one had, and it was a down year, right? 21 Savage drops an album to start the year. I'm telling you, 2024 is going to be quote unquote it's a bounce back year for rap music. 2024 after just Drake and 21 Savage did not drop an album. It's going to be called a bounce back year for rap because Lil Durk is dropping a new album this year, like because they all have to.
They have to.
Yeah, rents do. You know what I mean?
Funny.
360 deals. They need the money. Those are basically payday loans. Them 360 deals. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Also, before we start the show, can we get this as black people? I'm tired of you niggas, right? Talking about the Grammys, right? What I'm tired of this. It's a psyop. All y'all do is talk about the Grammys, but y'all still
Wow.
show up, right? Stand on business and stop showing up to the Grammys. You can't be mad that Macklemore keeps winning. All these people who you say, oh, there's people who shouldn't be in this category who's winning, but yet y'all always show up to get y'all little record players, styrofoam, whatever it's called. I'm talking about you, Jay-Z. I'm talking about you, Beyonce. Kanye was right. Let's be honest. Kanye was right when he stood off business like 15 years ago and he cut Taylor Swift off, saying, right? But no, but now when Jay-Z does it, it's all good. That's my starting off rant.
There's a difference.
Right?
People like Jay-Z.
Since when, as Kevin said, since when does America like the big lip, big nose nigga? Since when? Since when?
Since
right?
OJ.
Since when? Dreads. Since when? What dreads? Since when? Like dead ass. Since when did America say, you know what? Like that.
Since Killmonger. You've seen Killmonger's hairstyle in hundreds of characters now. Video games, TV shows. We are acceptable now.
Like, God damn, I've never seen that in my life. 31 years, and all of a sudden, Jay-Z with freeform locks. He never plaited his locks and his hair one time to lock his joint. He basically just put a rubber band and olive oil in his hair and just let his joints rock out. And that big nose is out there, and yet he says it, and everybody's like, "Oh, now we should not listen to the Grammys." Him and Drake, a light skin and a capitalist, tell us we should not listen to the Grammys.
But Drake had the best message. I feel he told you. He said what I think the people who didn't win or the people who were upset don't understand. You've already won. Some dad named Icon is out there pumping and rapping your music for you. You've won. You get to go out every day and do something you love. You won.
Like damn. Right.
I can't separate the two. Because I'm part of that struggle bus. Like, yeah, I get to take L's and see how I feel about things, and then one day I get a email or a call like, oh, do you want to be a sponsor? Can we sponsor you? And I'm like, damn, I did win.
Wow.
But my issue is,
I'm with you on
tired of us complaining about not being allowed in these white spaces. And guess what? When they're like, fine, we letting you niggas in, right? On our terms. Then us being mad that when we in these spaces, they're not welcoming to us. And now wanting to take our ball and run. Like, oh no. Like, here's the thing. There's a reason why they didn't want us there in the first place, right? But yet here we go, popping into these places, demanding that we be seen, and then being upset when they were initially hostile to us in these places that we were never supposed to be in. Like, why did we feel like we needed validation from them, right? Because guess what? Our own Black awards suck. Essence Awards suck. BET Awards suck. Source Awards got canceled because niggas was fighting. Because we don't support our own shit.
I'm gonna need you to pick a side of the fence and stay there. Because a couple weeks ago, you were telling us the greatness of segregation and how we did so much better when we were segregated.
Call him out, Icon. Call him out, Icon.
No, I am. I'm saying we were, right? We were. But here's the thing. That's because we clamored to be included, right? So we literally fought them to the Supreme Court to be included in these places we weren't supposed to. And they said, all right, cool. This is what happens. And this is the result. And now we are upset. They're like, wait. It's not comfortable for us here. Yeah, because you weren't supposed to be here, bro. I'm not trying to make you comfortable, right? I'm trying to get you up out of here. Get up out the paint, right?
See, no, the thing about it, and this is often not an argued point of integration, something that people in large part don't understand. In large part, integration was about how taxation without representation is theft. If you are taxing black families and dare I say the racial tax where black families get taxed more often than not, more than white families, you could make an argument that you're still putting them in the Jim Crow era because you're taxing them and not giving them access to the things that they have.
Like
So
voting.
the integration like integration wasn't always about let us have what you have. It was really about let us have what we paid for.
Yes, and the results of it, right, is we have less of our own, right? The
That's
result
that's 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 a dereliction
we
of
own less
duty,
businesses.
dare I say, not
We
to
own
not
less
to
businesses.
thoroughly
Yes or no?
explain.
Do we own percentages own less businesses post integration or
What's
pre
up, Dan?
segregation? We as a
Hopefully
people.
everything's okay
Definitely,
with your family.
I mean, if we're talking about in the general sense of the size and population and scope, demographically speaking, we own more. Now, if you're saying if there's more concentrated thing, but this is also another false fallacy. We, as a group of people and the black community, try to emulate a process of oppression without having a group to oppress. Therefore, we oppressed ourselves. We didn't want to do business with ourselves, so we ended up having to take advantage of ourselves. You want to know why the Italians and the Indians and the Koreans? Because they have a demographical group that they can take advantage of.
Yeah.
We don't have that. And we've decided to do the oppressor's pathway to capitalism, and we suffered for it. We suffered for it.
As Shake once said, we chose the wrong people to emulate. See, I listen
Poor
to you,
white.
Shake. I listen.
He
I don't know
does.
why. I don't even listen to stuff I say. I just be saying.
Dan, Dan from Space. Can you please send me a message on Discord because I know we need to talk. I keep forgetting about this. We could definitely chat tomorrow if you got time.
All right, we got 2 minutes. Ah, man, hero. Shake hit me like, bruh, are you going down the rabbit hole of your Farrakhanism?
Bro, I thought he was
Hey,
going
that,
down this like I
I
saw
was
Black
reading the
History
text.
Month
Yeah.
as the topic thing, and I was like, "Yo, this is not the show I'm trying to do, bro. Right? This is not the show
Yeah.
I'm trying to do."
Man, yeah, I'm not here to. I'm here to see topics. I did send you the two. Did I send you two stories that I thought were hilarious?
Oh, I'm
What
sorry.
were they?
Yeah, that's on me.
Is this real? Is
Yeah.
this real? Or is this going to be 24 people? Is this going? If it jumps up to 80 something people, I'm gonna be pissed and be like, "Bro, you might not say something, but I might send an anonymous message to homeboy."
We stand as far away from that as possible. What's up, Grimy?
That's true. He good with computers. He gonna dox me. Next thing, my whole life is over.
Yeah, I'm looking in here. These are people we know.
True.
That's some great points. This show being black and white. So Dan was supposed to rock out with us tonight, but he had some family issues he had to attend to.
The show's all over the place. Like
What?
The viewership, therapy. She said she's Chaldean. One of my boys, he's Korean. One of my boys, he's Russian. Who watches the show?
We have
So
great
that's what I'm saying.
diversity.
Exactly. I'm not trying to be known as that black show.
That black
Like,
show.
if you want that, go to MSNBC.
Really?
Right? Until we get paid enough for it. If you get paid enough, I will definitely be that black show. You know what I mean? Honestly, you pay me enough, I'll be Jason Whitlock.
Oh, hell no.
Oh God.
Straight up heel
But I
turn.
cannot lie.
Show's over. Mike is like, okay, it's over. He just cut the camera.
Let me go ahead and get that
I
first
can't be
vote of
getting
the
downvoted.
day. All right, it is 8:15. We are getting started. Welcome to iConTalks. I'm your host and moderator, Icon. And as usual, we have the great hero. Please introduce yourself.
What's good, gang? Happy Black History Month. I think first video of Black History Month. Take some time out to appreciate the less known people in your thing. I think I'm gonna take this opportunity to talk about the creator of the cartridge, the Game Boy cartridge, Lewis. He works out there for Google. He did some stuff for Google and stuff like that. Created cartridges for Nintendo, Xbox, and all the ranks end up using. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are amazing figures, but if you don't know, go find something else about some more people. I'll try and keep this a running thing.
There we go. Love it. And some reason Shake didn't, hit you over the head for being, I can't even talk.
Ooh, see, you can't get a joke
Chef
off.
Shake.
Embarrassing.
What's up? Please
D
introduce
minus
yourself
D1.
before I get
Exclamation
voted down.
D1. Exclamation D1 for that. I'm gonna give you a well-known Black in sports history today for Black History Month. Good old Doc Ellis, 1970s, after a night of debauchery and partying, is alleged to have pitched a perfect game. Excuse me, I thought it was a no-hitter. It was a perfect game while still tripping on LSD in 1970. The man has said he saw 3 batters in the batter's box and was just like praying to God. And the man pitched a perfect game in 1970s for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Right? Today in Black History, everybody.
There we go.
That's great.
And that is why Shake gets effed up today.
Hey, I'm up 2-0, right? I got 2 points. So right, we starting off better than starting off minus.
Okay, as usual, if Shake says something you agree with, type exclamation V3 into the chat. If Hero says something you agree with, type exclamation V2 on the chat. And with that being said, let's get on to our first topic, which is if Dr. King came back today, how would he feel about the current state of Black America?
Lord Jesus. I mean, there could be he would not be happy with the youth. I have a feeling Dr. King would be very along the line of representative politics, right? Pull up your pants, X, Y, and Z, be better. Even Dr. King at the end, he comes from that generational cloth, right? Where the thought process was you have to be better to be treated better, right? He also would be upset that we are still poor and we've continued to be poor, right? That he'd be upset with the Democratic Party that he aligned with for the workers that he would feel hasn't done enough for the workers, not just Black workers, but all workers in this country in general. Because that's one thing he did. He was pro-union, pro-worker, working class person, and he would be upset with the Democratic Party for not having done more and allowing the workers to suffer in this country over the last 30, 40 years.
I can agree with that.
I think,
Sir Hero.
no, for sure. I think maybe I'm reading this wrong, but I think Dr. King would ingratiate himself with the youth. He would run to their aid and try and figure out how to come to their level of communication. Let us not forget the people who were standing on the front lines of those bridges. They might have been dressed up in suits and looked old. Yes, racism and extreme stress does that to you. But these were people from ages of 16 to 21. The ages 16 to 21.
Racism doubles your age. It's worse than the presidency. Racism doubles you. That's crazy, but continue.
Yo. So we know that these were kids like that were leaving high school and leaving their college dorms and stuff to go protest and come to these things. So we know that he would probably be ingratiated him, and I don't think he would have any beef with the African character. He would have to be proud to see that there are people who are directors, who are now thought leaders, scientists, kids that are able to sit down and talk. But I think the number one thing he would do is set the record straight. He would let them know that he was wrong. You should have done it Malcolm's way, because after you finish talking about the righteous way,
the book,
when he started talking about money, that's when they started coming for my guy. So he would have had to come back and set the record straight. I was wrong. Y'all should have took their heads off when they turned their back. And I think he would have ingratiated himself to a youth. And I think honestly that's how he worked.
The FBI didn't label him a domestic terrorist until he started rallying up the working class. Until he started changing his topic from just being about color and about the working class. That's when, wait, hold up, brother. Hold up. You want to rally up these Negroes in the South? We don't care, right? But there's a lot of working people in this country that we can't have you rallying up. And guess what? His message was diluted and conveniently, what, 60 years after his death, the only thing that really gets out about his message is just his message about black people. Not the nearly half of his years preaching was about the plight of the working class. How come that is never brought about his message? It's just what he did for black people. What he was really about was the change on all working class people. Literally every single one of us who are on the show, watching this show, was to affect us, to go into the industrial war complex and the worker, and to help the worker. That's what he would set the record straight about. Period.
Yeah, but dampening down his messaging dampens down his legend, which they have to do.
And for anyone that feels they can't receive his message because it feels damped down, I implore you to go ahead and jump deeper into the end. The knowledge
last
is in
2
the
years,
deep
especially he
end.
went to Chicago. That's it. When he goes to the city of Chicago in what 60, he gets killed in 68. So he goes in 66.
Oh, you're right.
16, yeah, 66. So he does a message in Chicago, and that's when he starts writing his book. And you start reading the last 18 months after he goes in Chicago. That's when his message about workers' rights really changes, right? And that's when they clearly the powers that be realize, oh, this Negro's got to go. And then conveniently, you start noticing all the other people who were taken out, what their message actually was that got them taken out. John F. Kennedy, like if you want to go really conspiracy theory, since we started this, John F. Kennedy, industrial war complex, workers' rights, gets killed. His brother, the attorney general who is suing the industrial war complex and workers' rights, is also killed. All four of them are killed, and Malcolm X, all four of them are killed within a 2-year span, who are all preaching the relatively same thing, and all four of their messages are all diluted to say that they didn't bring up that. It's just the surface level civil rights issues that are attached to their name, not the real major work they were trying to do that never gets brought up.
Okay, and with that said, we need to move to our next topic. We are already into our second month of the year. So, who is your champ and who is your chump of January 2024? Hero, would you like to go first?
For January? I would have to say at least my champ. Oh man, I thought we were gonna say for everybody. I can actually I can use this. My champ has to be the labor farmers and unions in France right now who are publicly putting waste products on the house fronts of their leaders, who are flooding the streets of France with sheep and are putting hay bales, then letting their pasture graze through the highways, all because they reformed and took away taxes. When it comes, I know they burnt France down multiple times, and they're known. And yeah, we make fun of them because, they're known for that. And yeah, I know we make fun of them because they don't got no hands, and we always got to come say that. But one thing they are great at is mobilizing and unionizing, and somehow they found a way to disrupt all facets of life there without disrupting your common man or working man. So I think they definitely have to be the people I cheer on the most right now. And I think the people I gotta boo has to be the Republican Party in the Senate and House. All Republicans who got every single Democrat to bend over backwards to give them the funding they wanted for their border wall. But because Trump says he wants to run on that topic in 2025, they have now given up on running on that. And now we're sitting here with two things if you're a voter in this country. One, you have a spineless group of people who gave everything they wanted to in order to get what they wanted, and then they flat out told them no, it wasn't enough, so that someone who's going to eventually probably end up losing the race, just so they can come back and keep talking about this later. If you're a Republican, you have to be tearing your hair out.
All right, Shake. So who is your champ and who is your chump of January 2024?
My chump of January 2024 is this lady on TikTok who went to TikTok bragging about how it's been 10 days after her boyfriend and her broke up, she slept with 22 different men. And she was then surprised when the internet assembled and viciously destroyed. Yes, do the math. That is 2.2 a day, right? that is a serious. Like, she was enjoying herself, to say the least, But she was thoroughly surprised when the internet came and just absolutely eviscerated her for her proclivities. And she was thoroughly surprised. That's what, so I say, chump of 2024. Because, like, come on, lady. Like, not in America can you go out and tell the world, including men and women, that in 10 days you slept with 22 different men. Not 22 times, 22 different men in 10 days. That is my chump of 2024. Therapy gross. I come to face like someone just walked by with a fart in his room. Yeah.
Do you have a
Oh my
champ?
god, I can't. So who's my champ of I think I gotta say my champ is Drake, right? No. My champ of 2024 is Kanye West. Because hear me out, right? Hear me out. Besides his anti-Semitism, that was
Hey, how do you
2023.
downvote people real quick?
Right? Hear me out. Before you downvote me, hear me out. Right? How do you have a double like so his wife Bianca Censori has a double master's in accounting and like business admin from like the London School of Business Economics, and yet he still has her walking barefoot through Las Vegas. That is so gangsta, right? That guess what? His lyric of "There's 1,000 yous but a one of me," I can get you to do that, right? It doesn't matter how smart you was. When it comes to this money, you will walk barefoot through Las Vegas. I will put you in the craziest thing because guess what? When I put the almighty dollar in front of all of y'all, y'all's gonna jump as high as I want you to.
That
Even
is
for
very
Kanye, doesn't matter
sad.
what he says. See,
Very,
he had her
very
walking
sad.
through dirty barefoot through Las Vegas. Anybody who's been to Las Vegas knows how nasty that place is. You should not be walking barefoot through Las Vegas ever. Mm-mm-mm.
I don't know where to go with that statement.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah,
You proud of yourself?
I'm happy.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I,
Okay.
yeah, very much so. You gotta,
Yeah,
let's give
you're
a
proud
black
that
man who got
someone
his white
decided
woman
to
walking
you're
dirty
proud
barefoot
that
through Las
somebody
Vegas.
you're proud that somebody that fucking Flintstones of Family Matters decided to get his wife out there talking about yabba dabba do. Like it's the equivalent of like it's the degradation. Once again, he is a psychopath, so he only can feel relief when he's causing pain to other people. And that is what you're experiencing. The shame and the remorse is a deep reflection of who he is as a person. It's a power dynamic that why would you need that?
Hey,
This is your
Because you
wife.
could
Is
make
that
anybody
what you
do what you
plan on
want.
doing?
I could just make anybody what I want.
and
Like,
and that's what he uses his
couple of them.
superpowers on.
Yeah, that's what he uses superpowers on to manipulate and mentally damage people.
She
Real
don't seem
great.
mentally damaged.
He should have been
She
in
chose that life.
just he should
She's
have been
clearly
in
smart enough
I
to get it.
agree.
She's clearly smart enough without it. She has a double master,
no.
so she's smart enough.
He definitely needs to be the final boss in Justice and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. He needs to be the final boss, and they need to cap his ass. If
Yeah,
you
they
want to be a
need some help.
superhero so
You're
much,
right about
you
that.
should
They
have been
need
the
okay.
final boss.
Okay.
Game is terrible.
We have gelling selfies. So, in Oklahoma, the Conservative Party is looking to pass a bill that will make it illegal and you can be jailed if you send a selfie of yourself in the nude to someone else that is not your husband or wife. And this act will be punishable by time spent in jail. Shake,
Wait,
what?
They're Dusty.
is this for
Devers.
people in jail?
No,
No.
You will get sent to jail if you send a nude selfie to someone that is not your spouse.
I did the research on this. I did the research on this, right? Senator Dusty Devers, use a hoe. An HOE, hoe, right? You, your wife, and them 6 little Stepford wife children you got is a hoe, right? It's always these white Christian, over Christian men who are always trying to tell me how to live my life. I'm sorry your life is so fucking boring that your wife don't send you a little titty pic, don't send you a little ass pic no more, right? That she don't do that for you. There's nothing in the Bible that says your wife can't share her photos with you or me, right? Just because you not hitting it right, that doesn't mean someone else ain't gonna hit it right. Leave us. I don't project my secular life on you, the Christian. Why do they continually try to ram, and I'm gonna say it like this, ram their bullshit life down everybody else's throat? I don't understand it. right? Like I'm not asking to be baptized. I just want to get a titty pic every once in a while and be happy at work. Right, that's it. And my day is 8 hours in this miserable goddamn place. And if I look at my phone and I just say, "Oh, that's nice," right? But next thing you know, boom, I open my phone, I get jailed. And now, if I'm in jail, you know what happens to Negroes in jail? Exactly. Way worse than a titty pic. Way worse than a titty pic. A lot of a place called Sodom happens in jail. Just saying.
There's so many things you could say about this, but let's just go down a short list of things that are happening in Oklahoma that this senator, whoever representative, could solve. About 3/5, so 2/5 of the children in Oklahoma go to bed hungry every day. They have a 1 in 7 homeless ratio. 1 in 8 houses in Oklahoma do not have the appropriate heating or cooling units in order to maintain satisfactory living levels. Their healthcare system is notorious as there's only one women's health clinic within for every 50 miles. So a woman's designated just for women. 1 in 50 miles. It requires you to have a vehicle because you have to travel at least a minimum of 6 miles to get fresh produce, no matter where you live in the city, in the state. So this person and this loser can continue to sit here and talk about how this is the major issue happening and affecting him, but this is why Republicans and conservative people constantly lose the moral battle, because they're talking about shit that no one cares about. You got $60,000 in student loan debt, or 100, or if you're like me, $300,000+ in student loan debts. You think my biggest nightmare is worrying about opening up a dick pic or something like that? No, my issue, my grand tour to the world is going to be sending every last one of the senators a Pornhub link to Booty Talk 34, and the moment they open them, if they all don't go to jail, so then we can then make an office that's actually for the people, then this shit is useless, right? I would make it my mission to build a bot that would send them dick pics every day and just try and see which one will go to jail first.
I Here's the thing, right? It's always people who have money, so they don't have to worry about all the things that Hero spoke about. Fresh produce not being available. So not only do you're just assuming that everybody else lives the life that you do, and the craziest part is, I wouldn't be surprised if he's addicted to porn himself. The reason why, because you can't. It's like alcoholics, right? My problem is alcoholics, right? At times, because just because you have relinquished your ability to drink, that doesn't mean I need to stop drinking, right? I won't drink in front of you. Just like, yeah, you shouldn't be watching porn in public, right? The same thing, but doesn't mean you need a law to tell you, oh, you shouldn't watch porn, right? It is what it is.
It's weird.
Calm down. You always try to dictate my life. This is why I truly could not actually be a Republican in 2024. As much as I like, spoiler alert, I'm not actually a Republican. Let's break the fourth wall, everybody. I'm not actually a Republican. But it's their constant need to dip into your social life. Like fiscally, I could be Republican conservative all day long. But damn, do you want to tell me how to live my life? And that's when I got a problem.
Okay, we are going to move on to quick hits. Here, the host has 30 seconds to answer yes or no and tell us why. And who are we starting with? We are starting with Shake. Let's get it started. So, what do we have here? Naomi or Tyra? So, Naomi Campbell or Tyra Banks?
Tyra Banks, as the great poet A$AP Rocky said on the great ballad Fucking Problems, I love a pretty big faux head bitch, right? The great poet once said that. She's also been great for mainstream black supermodels, all jokes aside. Mainstream black supermodels by putting like America's Next Top Model and all these other great shows. So it's Tyra Banks, and she got the cakes, man. You ever see Tyra when she turn around? She thick. Naomi's a little skinny. She's a little skinny chick. I don't really like my women all that skinny. I like my women a little much more thicker.
And you're 36.
Okay, one.
Okay,
The
so
the disrespect.
The disrespect. Whoa. Wait. Hold on. Let him talk. Because now I need to hear what he gonna say. What you gonna say? What you gonna say?
So you coming at the model physique of Naomi Campbell because she's smaller, because she can pull off that invisible snatched waist better off. So you're decrying her because she doesn't meet your standard of beauty. It's funny how you glorify one black woman, then you toss another one in jail for the same thing. Yeah, the
That's right.
disrespect.
You know what I'm about.
Okay, hero. We have Michelle Obama or Coretta Scott King. Go.
It's got to be Michelle Obama. I mean, the first lady, the first black lady in the White House, and she didn't have an apron on. I mean, let's keep it honest. Coretta never got invited. Coretta never got invited. Never got invited to the White House alongside her husband. She was standing faithful by her husband, and yeah, he might have been doing some nasty things behind the church gallows, but she's still faithful, still behind him. But we're talking about a woman who withstood the test of time, being on a global stage, and kept her rapport, kept her standards. No one's saying that she did everything right. No one's even saying that she did enough or what she was supposed to, but she did do something that every black person will sit here and forever appreciate. She stood by her man for 8 years when she needed him the most. She raised 2 beautiful girls with the whole entire world watching her, and she never, and I mean never, was ashamed of her natural hair. She kept it natural. A pimp's name slipped back, don't got shit on
You look
her.
like you want to rebut that.
Yeah. Because like normally I'm with him. I was with him on the Michelle Obama over the Coretta Scott King until my man said something. Right? You got to go credit over Michelle, because talk about holding it down. My man Martin was out there, right? And she ain't divorced him. She held it down for him while he was out there spreading civil rights, right? So when it talks about who you want, you gotta go for the one who holds it down, right? I'm just saying, Coretta, she must have been a Caribbean woman. She kind of used to things like that, right? She Caribbean or an African woman, because she kind of used to things like that. Michelle Obama, a black woman from Chicago. Obama couldn't get away with things like that, right? Obama couldn't get away with things Martin was getting away with. So that's why I want me a Coretta in my life and not a Michelle.
First off,
so basically you want somebody that you can cheat on.
Things. We do know there was a smear campaign
you don't gotta say it like
to
that.
ruin the reputations of black leaders. That we do know. And
we do know.
Okay. And here, so conveniently, what happens all the time amongst pastors? Do they sleep with their parishioners? Yes or no?
Yes or no? Religion. I don't believe in organized religion, so that's all.
Okay. So you're saying that a man who was all over the town, right, all over the country, right, had the masses in the palm of his hand with his words. You're telling me not once did he break?
No,
fuck out of
here.
I
definitely think he did. If I'm keeping it 100, he didn't break. And that's part of the reason why he didn't break. He knew he had the masses in hand. And if there was a provable way to show a fallacy in his ideology, remember, Martin Luther King was not a famous person. In fact, he got 60% of African Americans, when Martin Luther King was doing his march on the Birmingham Bridge, didn't approve of it. So he wasn't a popular dude. So trust and believe, if they had any ounce of real proof or any allegation that they could bring to light, they would have used it against him. And the fact that there was only he say, she say only lends itself to it being that a rumor. It's nothing that you should ever take.
You generally don't think he cheated on it.
Okay, we need to move to the next one, which is on Shake. Jackie Robinson, the first black man to play professional baseball, or Willie Thrower, the first black man to play as an NFL quarterback?
I guess it's got to be Willie Thrower, because I don't even like baseball. So, like, Jackie, you didn't need to break the color barrier, right? You could have stayed across the line in the first place. 60 years later, we don't even play. So the real significance was now we've had a Super Bowl with 2 black men as the quarterback. So Will Thrower was the far more significant one, instead of this Negro 1943 crossing the color barrier for a game black people don't even want to play 70 years later. Right? It don't even matter. You doing things that didn't matter in the future.
This man, this is why this is like, and then you get like the Dominicans and the Haitians coming over to the league and
What?
like,
Hold on.
me no
I know
black,
black eye
me no
Dominican. I
black,
know
me no,
black eye Dominican. I
me
know
I know
black eye
black, I know
Dominican.
black,
I
I'm
know
Dominican, like,
Dominican.
and it's because of people like Shake because he gives them the pass. Like, no, you don't have to be. May I remind you, this man was breaking records while being told you will be hung if you broke said record. At least
Yeah,
when
but we don't
Homeboy
play the
went to go
sport.
play football. At least when Homeboy went to go play football, the team, like, football is such a religion in this country. There was like, you got any friends? You got anybody else that can do what you do?
True.
Like, bring them on down. So, I mean, man,
Pause real quick. The
what a
craziest thing about I
statement,
heard
Jake.
about football is Alabama in the 60s with Bear Bryant, right? Lost to USC, which had a whole bunch of brothers on from the South. And he saw how fast them Negroes was on the University of Southern Cal football team side. And he said, to as racist Alabama was in 1960, he says, I need some of them. And Alabama integrated. The University of Alabama football team integrated and said, we rather win football games than be racist. And since then, University of Alabama football has been good. Ole Miss, Mississippi, the next state over, which should be a college football powerhouse, said, you know what? We'd rather be racist than win football games and didn't integrate for another 15 years later, and they have never been good because of that.
All right, we have one more, and this is for Hero. Tyler Perry or Spike Lee?
Spike Lee. This
Thank
is
God.
not even up for debate.
Easy.
I mean, are we talking about we're talking about he has 3 camera techniques accredited to him. The dolly movement of the camera where his characters are standing still and the camera and everything's moving around them, the hood Dutch tilt and the overarching one take from the bathroom to the crib. Oh my goodness, these are things legendaries. And it's not just one thing or other. We're talking about iconic people here. We're talking about every black person that has won a major award, musicians who have won a major award came from the school of Spike Lee. This is a man who sits comfortably on his throne at courtside of a losing team and gets more notoriety than the game itself. I mean, he sits on a stage by himself. Now, I'm not going to discount anything that Tyler Perry's done. You might not be in taste of his movies, but he has been able to give people, especially closer to the religious side, a Hollywood way in and out. And he's been helping to pay a significant amount of people's bills with his studio out in Atlanta. I'm never going to knock a black man for providing for his people, which is what they both have done. But when you speak of excellence, you better be speaking of black directors. You better be speaking about Spike Lee.
So
what you got for
I'm
us,
glad
Shake?
Hero said it. I'm glad Hero said it. He won't bring a black man down, but I will. And that is for Tyler Perry. I got words for that Negro right there. First of all, how do you constantly preach religion, but yet you always a brother in a dress? I don't understand it, right? All of his movies and shows for a long time was always about the anger and pain that he puts his black female characters. Medea.
Why are we talking about dresses?
What
Does
you
it
mean?
not say in the Bible that you shouldn't wear cloth of 2 separate makings? He's wearing a full traditional robe.
It also
dress.
says, come on. We're not gonna do this topic. We're not gonna do a Bible bash conversation because that's gonna ruin the chat. We're never gonna have a show we do that conversation, right?
Unless we get paid.
2 things I don't like about Tyler Perry, right? So for someone who's quote unquote so pro black woman, if you notice, all of the black women in the major black women, all his shows and movies for a long period of time had to go through some major form of strife. Right? It's my overarching issue with many black media is why do we always have to go through pain? Why the only thing that sells for us is pain? We sell it to ourselves more than anything else. That's all he sells is pain. Yes, he does. You look at his movies, all he sells is pain.
Okay. Yeah, and you went to go watch all 11 Fast and Furious movies to hear them debate in court about speeding tickets.
That's not pain. That's robbery. Robbery and heist is not pain.
But when we have Vin Diesel with the guns and the cheeks out and all these muscle cars in the
what Fast and Furious you watching? Hey, I've never seen that movie. With cheeks out.
At the beginning of every race, you can see a permanent ass shot as they start their cars. All I'm saying is he makes a genre worth of content. If everyone in the movie was doing great, it wouldn't be called a drama. That's what the drama entails. And the
I
fact that
wouldn't
he's
call it
once
a
again
drama.
using our people to portray it is fine. 12 Years a Slave won an award. You don't see them complaining about that
Oh,
shit.
I don't watch those movies. You be watching those movies?
No, but I mean, it's still the principle. It's not for
No,
us.
no, no, no.
Remember, I just
No.
watched American Fiction. American Fiction is probably one of the best movies I've seen in its early year, but it's a great movie. But you have to make we are not enough to suffice the black community. We need to get common white folks to also like the shit we do. We have to do it.
But why do we have to like shit that causes us pain? Why do we gotta like 12 Years a Slave? Why do we have to like 13 Fruitvale Station? That's
Like,
my life.
like, or be able
Shake,
to
please
educate
go
ourselves on
watch
it.
American Fiction. Go
I,
watch American Fiction. Not because I think it's going to prove anything to you, but I think you will understand something, a concept that has escaped me greatly through my media career, which is we're not making this for us. We just innately understand why it's here. We need to make it. That's why. And after watching, I think you understand greatly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with Hero on that one, but I do get your point, Shake.
okay.
And with that being said, we are going to move on to OnlyFans decal controversy. A mother with a OnlyFans account put a OnlyFans decal big as hell on her back window. So the school that she drops her kids off to asked her to park across the street so the kids wouldn't have to see that. Hero, do we disagree with that, or do we agree with that action?
We absolutely disagree with that. We, what do you mean she can't pull up and drop her kid off like everyone else because of a decal on their car? Do we not allow people with Confederate flags to pull up in front of schools? Do we not allow
No.
people with uh, do we
Sorry.
not allow people with don't tread on me decals on the back of their stuff to do that? Do we not allow people who say Black Lives Matter allow them to pull up to the schools? Do we not allow people at one point still to this day with Ku Klux Klan memorabilia hanging from the back of their vehicles to pull up to vehicles? You mean to tell me a group of people, adults, are concerned about what their kids might ascertain from looking at an OnlyFans logo on the back of someone's car? I thought we were all policing what our kids were supposed to be doing. This is the same group of people that'll say, I want to control what my kids read and learn at school, but they don't, they just openly admitted that they can't control that stuff because your child is not under your control. The world has the liberty of dictating what people understand. And your ability to discriminate against this woman only makes her more powerful. No one talks about this lady if you don't mention her, but it's the Streisand effect. Now we're talking. Now 3 black dudes are talking about an OnlyFans lady popping her thing on spread eagle style for $59.99. And yes, I did do it for research.
I was about to say it wasn't even all that good. It was like way too expensive. I was like, yo, I've seen for definitely. I know someone who's doing it for a lot cheaper.
I had a
And she gets
discount
way
code.
more, right?
Yeah, I got a
You can
discount
show
code. It
it
was nice.
pictures. Discount codes in the bio.
Yeah.
So I honestly, Hero, like you had me in the first half of what you were saying. I was like, brother, where are you going with it? But you went the free speech, the ironic free speech ideology on this. Like we allow so many other things. What's so wrong with this? Right. So I'm gonna preface this, right? I don't care when I say don't care. Like I'm pro sex work. My thing is, sex work should not be in places where there's high volumes of children, right? It's not for them. She's wrong for promoting it at school. I get the idea of, in a sense, taking ownership because there's a thought process of, and this is what many porn stars / all amateur people who do adult entertainment sex work run through, especially the women because they have children. How is it going to affect their kids, and how do you deal with that? Do you upfront take ownership of it? And when that's a convoluted way in which she decided, I'm going to take ownership of what I do so that it doesn't affect my child. Because if the world knows ahead of time, they can't use it against them. But the problem is you're promoting at this child's school, right? So you're soliciting by having it as a billboard. You're soliciting at a school, and that's when I think that's no better than being a streetwalker and walking past a public park during the day when they have children. In my book, that's just wrong. But to me, it brings up the overall issue. What are we going to do in the future when this generation of children, the amateur porn children generation come through, right? is how are they going to deal with the react of so many more people are doing amateur porn, basically, right? And that's the question that we're going to just have to deal with. Of do we just stop denigrating people for doing stuff in the comfort of their own home and watching porn, right? Or are we just gonna be like, yeah, lady, you can't be promoting here, like, or is the issue like you're tired of you don't want you don't want the other dad to be caught, and now it's awkward at the PTA meetings. That's what it is. It's awkward at the PTA meeting because the principal is seeing you and stuff like that. People's wondering what you've been doing with that spatula. They never eaten none of your cookies at the bake off and whatnot because like, yeah, I'm not eating nothing at your house. It's nasty. I've seen what you do at home. You dirty. You disgusted. That's why I see where it is.
Yeah, and
The thing about it is, if we could give everyone's internet browser and let it be open and free, I would literally use the great quote from Rick Sanchez: "Your boobs mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer." These people are animals. It's just they don't understand how best to articulate themselves. Just say what you want to say. You are uncomfortable with people being comfortable.
all
They're
right.
she's more comfortable with you, right? But again, like around the kids, that's wrong. We can all agree that her promoting
I
it at
I
the
don't
kids,
I don't agree with that.
but I don't have an issue with.
I don't agree with that.
Wait, you don't think it's okay to promote that around children? To me, that's so. Would it
No,
be
no, no, no,
okay
no,
if
no, no,
she
no,
was
no, no,
walking
no,
a
no,
blade
no,
around
no,
the
no.
school?
Hear me out. Hear me
You're
out. Hear me
inflating
out. Hear
promoting
me out.
with to
A
someone.
decal of an OnlyFans logo and your web address is different than seeing inappropriate material.
But
Hmm.
that's soliciting directly to that sex worker thing. Like I get I
Yes.
get what Hero was doing about you're supposed to be protecting your kids. The rights argument of we watch our kids, right? So if that's your argument, then watch your kid. Don't do it here. But my question: would you still the same thing? To me, what she's doing is the same thing if she was walking a
Wait,
blade in
let me
6 inch
pose this
heels.
question. Let me pose this question. If OnlyFans decided to sponsor and promote the girls' basketball team, pay for all their trips and travel along with the baseball team and all sports activity, would we accept that donation?
For the elementary for that school?
And that logo
No,
would
you
be on
can't accept that
everything.
donation. No, you
You
can't
can't.
because it's an adult.
You can't.
It's an adult platform. It's a platform meant for adults.
We would take donations from the Satanic Temple,
Cigarette
but we won't
companies
take
used
it
to
from OnlyFans.
sponsor
Yes, it's
Smoking
better than
smoking companies used to sponsor. Smoking companies used to
used
sponsor
to
it.
children. Yes,
You
keyword, and we
okay?
stopped that. And we
And
stopped
we
that.
stop that. But I'm just saying, are we denying children the ability to a better
To watch porn.
education
Yes,
because
I
of?
think we should. We probably should
I'm
like
not saying
the
watch
slow
porn.
down their ability to watch
I'm not still
to watch their neighbor get raw dogged. Yes,
okay.
you should slow
Hold on.
down
If
your
they have a
child's
credit
access
card,
to watch your
if they
best friend his best friend's neighbor get raw dogged.
Hey,
Yes, that should be
all
slowed
right,
down.
we gotta move
100%.
hey.
on.
It should not be easy access to see that.
And in
Because
spirit of
some
Black
of the group
History
is most
Month,
great.
we are having a racial draft. So the question here is, who would you draft? Who would you trade? And who would you just drop?
Oh, let me go first. I got this. I got this. I got this. I've been doing a lot of thinking about this since I saw this. All right. And I got my first 3 picks, right? Who I'm dropping, right? I'm trading away because I'm trading back, right? I'm trading back Tim Scott, senator from the great state of South Carolina. He's a coon. Bill Cosby, representative politics, trading away him because there's a certain generation of black people that I think will just go with him as well, right? Jason Whitlock, and I'm trading away Beyonce, right, for a package deal, right? Beyond these are the Tim Scott,
Stream the
Jason
beat.
Whitlock. Yeah, listen. Tim Scott, Jason Whitlock, and Bill Cosby is basically to make the salaries match up, right? For Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, bigger draw. And since I'm getting a white woman, it's white woman for white woman. Because let's not act like Beyonce has not been bleaching her skin. I'm from the Caribbean. Me no one see bleach. Them a bleach out them skin. Them a bleach, look like a browning. She bleaches her skin. I said it. You heard it here first. She bleaches her skin, right? For Taylor Swift, I want that 1.5 billion and the 1.5 million record she sells, right? Every single time she says a record. We're trading Beyonce and some throw-ins for Taylor Swift.
Okay, Hero, who would you trade for? Who would you draft? And who would you just drop?
If I'm trading off somebody, I'm definitely trading out Candace Owens for the Fox representative with the glasses and the black hair, who actually speaks the only piece of knowledge and fact on the show. She actually brings common sense and reason to it. So I'm definitely trading for Candace Owens for her. Person I'm dropping off the mat, Daniel Cameron, the man responsible for making sure that uh, uh,
Kentucky Coon.
97%. Yeah, Coon. He's basically Tim Scott's little brother. But Tim Scott is somehow worse. somehow still worse. But basically responsible for making sure that justice would never be seen for our poor queen that was slain by a bunch of officers who went to the wrong address. And then I think for someone who I would draft into the black, I wasn't sure. Are we saying a white person we would draft in or a black person we're drafting in?
Anybody.
Anybody? I think if we're talking about come ups in the world, man, I gotta say, and this is maybe just me, but all those kids, those dancing kids from Africa who be winning like getting 7 million views on their videos for doing coordinated dances. What haven't we brought them to making a star? Like, get those kids some green cards. They have 7.7 million views on YouTube doing choreographed dances in fucking mud huts. Get those people
That's
on
what people
TV.
like.
They will clearly, they will blow up. Everyone loves them.
No,
Why
they
haven't
won't.
we
No,
figured this
they
out?
blow up because they're in mud huts. That's what they like. They like to say, "Oh wow, look what you could do." Because that's what they like. I'm telling you. That's what they would. They would just be every other dancer in New York, right? It's because wow, they have phones
It's the
in mud
poverty
huts.
angle.
Yes, it's the
It's the
poverty,
poverty
right? It's the
angle.
reason why I couldn't be a rapper because I got two parents who loved me and I grew
Yeah,
up in the
yeah.
suburbs. Reason like boom, right? You got to have some level of poverty and strife to be that level of
So you
successful
back
as like
on that
an
pain. You
entertainer.
gotta sell that pain.
Yeah, you got to back. See, like I
Gotta
said,
sell the
back
pain.
on the pain.
That's a great callback. That's a great
See?
callback. Gotta sell the pain.
See, oh, another thing, who I'm drafting, right? Another trade I'm making. Aza Akira for Black China. I want a real Asian for a fake Asian. If you know, you know.
Oh
Right?
no, wait, no. I'm dropping homegirl. I'm dropping homegirl that's made the song "My Booty Hole's Brown" something.
Oh,
Yes.
That
Oh,
girl.
I had that too.
Dad's
I was
favorite
coming to
girl.
next.
I'm
Great minds
dropping
think
her.
alike. I'm going
dropping.
Iggy
Yeah.
Azalea for Sexy Red because I don't really like. I think there's a spot for Sexy Red in the world, but I don't like Hood Ratchet like that. Right? I'm going Iggy Azalea for Sexy Red. Right? That's who I'm trading out. Ratchet for Ratchet with the fatty. Right? That's what I'm going for. Ozzy Carrier, if you know, you know, for China Doll. That's what I'm going for. And boom. And we're going Beyonce and the group for Taylor Swift just outright. I think the money matches up. It's a good trade. That's the Paul George Oklahoma City Clippers trade right there. Right? Like the white community has a whole bunch of draft picks to draft later on, right? And black people get a bona fide star in Taylor Swift. Telling you, it's a win-win. I should do trades more like it. I should be a GM, a racial GM. That's what I'm gonna look to how to become a job. Like I'm gonna start managing the races and be like, all right, we need to cut ties with you.
Oh my goodness. Can we cut ties with
We already
Shake?
got no. Ti is dark white. He's not us. He's dark white. And y'all know what I'm talking about when I said there's biracial people and people who are dark white, right? If I need to explain, then you different, right? What you mean? You're looking at me like you don't understand what I mean by dark white.
So
Yeah, more. Yeah, I mean, you're the racial negotiator.
Commissioner.
Of course, you have. Yeah, you got understandings.
So
Yes, sir.
Hero, if you have no more draft picks or no more trades or drops, we can move on.
Yeah, please. This ambiguity is killing me.
Okay.
Real quick, last one. I'm trading myself as well. I'm trading myself to the rich white man club. Just straight up. That's just straight up trade. They can pick me up. You know what I mean? I'm tired of being poor and black. Make me rich and white.
You're gonna have to cut your hair in half. You're gonna have to cut your hair in half.
I will cut these dreads. Give me a nice Caesar.
Give it to a
How you
marriage.
doing, everybody? My name is John. It's nice to meet you.
And then cheat on your wife with your name. So those are some qualifications, prerequisites.
Okay. So in
That's what I'm saying.
Oklahoma, a few teachers received between $15,000 and $50,000 in bonuses. They were later notified that they received those bonuses by mistake and were asked to pay the bonuses back. Many of the teachers had already spent those bonuses. Some had bought houses because you get 50,000 in extra cash. You buy a house. Shake, should these teachers be repaying someone else's mistake?
Hell no. Hell the fuck no. These are Oklahoma State teachers. They probably make with tenure like $28. And you just got $50,000. You're gonna have to pull my carcass out of the house I bought, the car I bought, the debt. You're gonna have to find me to give me that money back. Like I said, state of Oklahoma teachers. I'm pretty sure Oklahoma's like 36 in the nation when it comes to education, and like 40 when it comes to what it pays teachers. So it's dog shit when it comes to education. And they just got they basically just hit a lick. That's basically robbing a liquor store or a bank for them. And now you're gonna say, "Oh, my bad. Can we get our money back?" To what? To deal with your kids? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
And I want to stress this very much so. The money that was given to them was only recognized as a clerical error because of an accounting discrimination. Meaning, this money was sitting there doing absolutely nothing. So whenever they tell you they don't have it, there's not enough in the budget, it's always going to be a lie. It's always going to be a fabrication. They were able to give how many 15 people life-changing money that will forever change the status of their family. We're talking about generational wealth. And as a person who owns a house and knows what that feels like and have that power to be able to wield it, to say, look, I can now go sell my family house and go get 3 condos and rent them out and make money. That's generational wealth. And that's the problem. The problem isn't that they gave the money. It's not even that they want it back. There's now 15 people out there who aren't like them, who have access to generational wealth, and that gives the illusion or the projection that things can go all right. And they don't like that. They don't like having. They want you to have hope, but they never want you to achieve true success. They don't like that. They hate that.
So you're definitely not giving the money back.
They would literally have to. I would literally stop working, empty out, and put all my accounts into a trust and look them dead in the eye at collection and say, I am never paying you a penny. And if you want to sue me, you can sue me into non-abyss. I will purposely guarantee I never work a day in my life to withhold just $50,000 from you. And that's being kind. I would do that just to withhold $10,000 from you. You think I can't survive without it? Try me, bitch.
I'll move to Belize. Ain't no extradition out there, bro. Right? Like, if I guess what? They pay people to teach English the same they pay in Oklahoma. They gonna teach me to teach on a beach in Belize, right?
They don't have a legal standing
a lot
here.
cheaper.
Yeah,
There's nothing that forces me to stay here since you want me to leave.
There's no one can save you except for my own ignorance. Is whoever gives it back, they deserve every punishment and L they get.
Because from what
they
I
have
understand,
they have no way.
A few of the teachers thought the payments may have been more than they should be, so they called. And when they called, they got verification that it was the correct payment.
Then that boom.
Yeah,
that's
so double confirmation. Oh, yeah, we're done. Next topic.
You are goofy if you return that money. You deserve it. You deserve
the fact that he even called.
Donkey
I
of the
remember
day.
one time. Look, I remember one time I left my job. I saw my paycheck and I saw that I got more than I normally was supposed to get. And then I saw the mass email where, because they couldn't account for who got the money because the computer error didn't show who got it. Say, hey, could you guys check your recent pay stub and just confirm how much you made? And when they called me and asked me, hey, what was the amount said? I said, whatever it says on the pay stub that you gave. They're like, that's the point here. We don't know how much it was. And I was like, well, I don't keep track of those things because it goes into a trust. Now, if you want to go talk to my trust, go talk to them. They were like, well, why don't you know what you're like? That's personal. Are you guys asking to invade my own private privacy because of your mistakes? Okay, we left it alone. Yeah, that's madness.
Goofy material. Goofy behavior.
All right.
Giving that money back. You're a teacher.
Stereotypes. What are some of your favorite and least favorite stereotypes about Black people? Shake, you look like you want to go first.
That third leg, the elephant trunk.
This guy.
The elephant trunk. Right? That's one of my favorite ones because at the end of the day, you might have a terrible personality, but they're always gonna assume you got something down there, right? That one. Or one of my favorite growing up is that we have the third calf muscle. We have the third muscle in our calves why we can jump higher, right? Especially since like I got white people calves and like I can't jump.
I've never heard that one.
Oh, you ain't never heard that one? Oh yeah, another one was like we turn into panthers at night and we grow tails like black jaguars, like literally like Black Panther at night. All of us are apparently black. This was as a child. This is pre Black Panther, the movie. I was told we turned into Black Panthers at night. I was like, damn. I didn't think I was black enough because I was like, I'm not turning into a panther at night. Had me thinking I was, too mixed.
This guy. You weren't
I
black
think
enough
really
to
one
turn
of the
into a panther.
I didn't.
there's so many angles I could go here, but I'll take the medical approach. I think it was mad fascinating up until 2017 that there was a group of medical students who graduated from medical school who still believed that black skin was somehow tougher than white skin. I think that there's a practice where Johnson and Johnson and a few other anesthetic companies knew that giving black people propofol created a sensation of being set on fire moments before being put to sleep, but felt no need to articulate on their chemistry because they didn't want to lose the patent. I think another one is that because black people have darker skin, people cannot readily identify certain skin disorders or skin cancers because they assume them to just be body scars. I think one of my favorite is people being concerned that there are probably worms in black people's stomach, preferably women, because they would let them lie down on their braids that went down into their back and on the x-ray showed off as a weird tangly worm and did exploratory surgery on women looking for bugs in their stomach that were just a projection and after shadow from people's skin. Some of the worst stereotypes about black people is that the healthcare system is actually made for them. And that is one of the biggest lies I've ever heard in my life.
One of
Well,
the
damn.
like to piggyback off what you said with the healthcare system. Probably the worst stereotype is that we can sustain pain more than our any other race. It causes our women to die at a three times at when childbirth three x to compared to any other race at their socioeconomic tax bracket. The fact that apparently we can just tolerate we're more like animals can just tolerate pain is probably the least effective stereotype that we have. But I would tell you a good stereotype is the assumption that we're always good at basketball because if you go up to the pickup like the court, and it's nine brothers, and you pick number nine, right? And there's that one white guy. Unless they know that white guy is cold, you will always get picked, and you could be trash over that white boy. It's until the moment they know, damn, they gotta pick the white boy over you because you so terrible, you will never be the last pick.
Dude, I played
Because,
ball through school and we still thought that.
mm-hmm. Like you got to be cold to be the white boy who's picked first in basketball. Like I mean, you is not Larry Bird. Larry Bird don't even get picked first in the
Larry,
regional basketball draft.
Larry Bird's definitely not getting picked first.
Right.
All right.
So
Speaking
yeah.
of sports, Tanya and I have had this long standing disagreement. I do not believe that you punish a child by taking away education, no matter what type of education that is. And I do think that sports, music, and other arts are education. So, do you think it is okay to punish a child by saying, hey, you can't go practice that instrument, or hey, you got in trouble, you can't go practice your sport? Hero, I'll start with the athlete first.
I don't like how you
Um,
said that.
Okay, the professional
Shake
athlete.
wasn't getting picked. Shake wasn't getting picked on that blacktop. That's why.
I don't like how you said that. Like I'm not an athlete. Like this isn't the male peak form right here. But continue.
The thing you have to understand here is your parenting style versus your child's capacity. If you honestly believe taking away something that improves your child's skill set, social skill set, or inevitability is the route to go, you have to worry about the way your child will be raised before you worry about how they are praised. And I say this, your child will take more of an adolescent and a lesson from not being able to keep up with his peers because of their infliction or lack of duty. If you told them they had to do XYZ before they go practice and they didn't do XYZ, and now their concert team or their basketball team is missing one of their star players because of their inadequacies, that's going to leave an impact. That's going to generate a behavior. But if this is purely a relaxing thing, which I would consider to be more fun, like video games, things like that, you got to think of another approach because, to your point, Icon, yeah, taking those things away from them will be detrimental. But the objective here is to teach them a lesson, and while learning a lesson, bad things happen. And you got to be comfortable with your kids being taught by you and not by the world.
And this call this, my Caribbean heritage, but I think you have to, right? Because at the end of the day, unless you can guarantee, and there's no way you can guarantee that your kid will actually go professional, right? And make copious amounts of money, is the only time that you could then say, okay, you don't take sports away. But the reason why you don't take things like academics, because then they can, unless they have a traumatic brain injury, they can always fall back upon that, right? The bar to make money off your body physically is a lot lower than the bar to make money off your body mentally, right? And look at Hero, right? Somebody, nothing against it, but someone who by 30 your career is done. So unless you have an exit plan, that's why so many go broke. Like they spent so much of their time just honing their body, yet they don't have an exit plan by 30, right? Even if they've made money, they go broke because they have no exit plan after that. They have no way to sustain their money after that point. So like Hero literally took out student loan debt to her post NFL career have a career after that. Why do you think so many athletes now are getting into podcasting? Because just sports can't sustain you into the future on any level, whether you make hundreds of millions in your career or you make tens of thousands in your career. It's just not going to sustain you. And at the end of the day, you get one injury, your athletic career is over. And now what do you have? So if your child cannot actually do what they're supposed to do, then yeah, the problem they're not available to the team and you weren't responsible. That's the message that's run. Like it needs to be drilled into your head.
Your point of they're one injury away, you can get hit by a bus going to school. You're one injury away. That's why I don't buy that argument.
Then you get disability. If you're so brain dead, your disability, you get disability, and the state takes over you, right? The state's not going to take over for you because you tore your ACL and you're just not the same. You're not athletic and you don't have the bounce anymore. And guess what? You had a 1.9 GPA. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, no college is going to take you.
If you're Dr. Strange, one of the best doctors in the world, and you get into a car accident and now your hands shake, you can't be a doctor anymore.
Yeah, but no, he can be a doctor. He can't be a surgeon anymore. He can still do general visits. He can do dermatology. He could be an oncologist and do radioactive studies and be funded by the federal government from here to Timbuktu. Like
he can be a teaching doctor if you wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing about it, he's saying he can't be a doctor. That's not true. He can be a doctor. He just can't be the doctor he wants to be. And if you want to be a great doctor like Doctor Strange, maybe you shouldn't have been texting and driving. There are consequences for your actions. And in that movie, they made sure he suffered them. Yeah, I see that smile icon. Yeah, I watched the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Don't try and throw that at me.
Dan, so what you said about like, you take away something that they love, right? Yes, it's a consequence of it. Of course you do. And the reason why you don't take something away against reading is a fundamental need. Your kid doesn't need to be great at basketball. Your kid doesn't need to be great at football, right? If you're banking your kid being great at sports is your only way of getting out, then that's your problem. You're in a position where the only way you can get out is sports.
That's where you're saying the only way. I'm not trying to take any option away from my child. Period. I need to find a different way to punish him. I'm not taking any type of education away from my child, whether it be playing an instrument, playing a sport, going to school. I'm not.
If I got to take one of them away, it's going to be sport. It's going to be sport. You're going to get far more enjoyment.
In fact, I'll give it to you, Icon. You can give them all the education and everything they need. Hey, guess what? You didn't you didn't do well, so I'm taking you out of basketball for the week, and every day you're gonna have to read the spook who sat. You're gonna have to read the book to the spook who sat by the door and read me a quarter summary every 3 days on what you learned and what the delineation was. It you could give him a punishment of more work in school, in
Okay.
math,
That's a
Okay.
in
very
Hey, how
Caribbean
science.
about
thing.
this
So
example?
That's a very
There was
Caribbean
there
thing.
was there was a father who also was an assistant coach of his son's team. His son didn't meet the educational expectations that his father set. So he said, "Oh, you're going to practice, but you're not playing. You're not playing in the game. You'll be at every practice, but you won't be in the game."
You talking about Coach Carter?
No.
that sounds like some shit he would do. Okay, and even in that situation, I mean, okay, what are you trying to gain? Like, once again, what the message is here is that you're going to you want I want you to see what a great asset you are to your team and how bad they suffer when you're not around. The punishment is still allotted to it. I think I'm okay with substitution or if in an extreme you take away situation, because once again you're trying to teach your child a lesson that you don't want the world to teach them. This is a
Mhm.
lesson that your child should learn well before they make their way outside into the real world, that there are consequences for your actions, and if it means I have to take something that you whether it's the guitar, the computer, coding, whatever it is, you will lose access to things you love if you don't keep up with the things you want to do. So whether you like it or
1,000%.
not, yeah, whether you like it or not, you go out there, you don't want to pay your bills. Guess what? You're gonna lose your electricity. That means you ain't gonna have no lights to play your games, no lights to see the food in front of your plate. So, like and the food that you bought is gonna spoil in the fridge. So, like once again, I think it's okay to take things from people, as long as you take it away with the explanation and that child understanding this is the consequences of your action. Now, my dad in the Nigerian household. Oh, you want to act a fool and present yourself? I want you to write a dissertation in Spanish to your Spanish teacher you were making fun of on why your behavior was messed up, and then translate that shit to Yoruba. The
I
fuck?
mean, I've had my door taken off. I've had like to me from a Caribbean household. Now as I'm older and I don't have kids, it comes from I understand that period point blank, education is clearly the most valuable thing, right? So I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather take all the ancillary things. Cause I don't care how good you are at this, right? Because at the end of the day, what is actually going to give you the most benefit or opportunity in the long run is giving you the most education possible. So yeah, like you might be good at basketball here at 9, but are you going to be good enough to make this
One
money
in a
monetarily
million.
gain for you in 16,
Yeah,
17? No, you're not. Like,
one
so
in a
guess what?
million.
You weren't doing what you needed to do. What do you mean what I mean?
No, no. What do you mean? No, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said what do I mean? I misheard you. It's
No,
what you got to do. You as a
it's
kid,
one in a
this is what
million.
your role is. Respect me, right? And get educated. Now that as I'm an adult, I realize that's what I didn't do, right? That's your job, right? Is as a parent, it's my job to give you the best opportunity possible. And how do I do that? You got to get educated, right? I'm not saying you
We
got to be
talking
the
about?
AP smartest person in the class, but you have to be educated, right?
We
Educate to the best
talking
so that you
about?
have the best opportunity. Period. That's my
Like
thought process on this.
we're talking about like me. I didn't play football in my freshman or sophomore year. I didn't step on the football field till week 8 on the sophomore team versus our rival. We played 2 games, won the conference championship, and then I was on kickoff for varsity for 2 games. They lost in the third round of playoff. I played my whole senior year and got offers from all across the country. No Pee Wee League, no nothing. So every kid that was in there, Pop Warner, all that shit, all that training, all those drills, all those running ups down, and the fact that I was a 6'5", 275 pound sophomore outworked you. My sheer genetics outworked everything you put into your child. So you did all that work, bought all those equipment, sent them all those trips, paid all that money just to get beaten by some African kid who wanted a scholarship to college. Like the world is a cruel, fickle son of a gun. And then just for me to go to college and get offered into the NFL, I brought all 32 teams to a buck ass HBCU town called Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I remember they were trying to fly me out. I told them, no, I got class. You got to come to me. We're the Ravens. We don't come to people. All right, then get off my phone. They were there on Thursday. The world isn't fair.
Yeah, the world isn't fair, and I just thought maybe I'd win that one. Someone's gonna be talking shit to me
You
tonight.
all wrong. Tanya, you
So,
run that shit.
black exploitation movies. What are your favorite black-led movies and least favorite black-led movies?
Django
Favorite or least?
was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Training
mine too.
Day. Training Day, Denzel Washington, because people are like, oh, he was so terrible in it, but he was good as hell in that movie. He was a great bad person,
Yes, he
right?
was.
Like, but if we were talking about true black exploitation, if we want to go all the way back to like Act, we gotta go like original Shaft, right? The new remake that came out a couple years ago, terrible. The original Shaft from '72 is good. The 2000 remake with Sam Jackson is good. The new one's terrible. Like Pam Grier from that time, can't go wrong with Pam Grier.
This is true.
Lord have mercy. Oh, that is what you call some VVS. Call back to last week. If people remember that. Oh man. So, what else? Least favorite. Oh, any Tyler Perry joint. Least favorite. 13 Fruitville Station. All those recreational sadness movies where it's just
recreational
some
sadness.
Negroes. Yeah, some Negroes getting shot, some Negroes getting killed, some Negroes getting hung as slaves. I don't do them joints. Like the last one I watched was probably Beast of No Nation, and that was because you know what? Like, that's no offense to my African brother here. Like that's African war children. That's a different type of black struggle that I don't have to deal with. Right? That's over there. Right? That's across the pond. That's those black people dealing with those issues. I can watch that, but that's the last recreational sadness black movie I watched was Beast of No Nation.
All right, recreational like sad movie. I'll go on that same. The Hate You Give analogy, which was later known to be the movie called Thug. The Hate You Give. If you've ever wanted to see what it looks like for CW characters who are white and look like they're probably 4 years out of high school to be derogatory and racist and bigotry towards black people in the most cringy way, The Hate You Give is the most black exploitative thing I've probably ever seen in my life. It is atrocious. Not only is this atrocious, but the thing that's atrocious about the movie is it's a black woman. This is how you know there was no black people on the cosmic set with the middle part. Now you only see black girls with middle parts with two things. One, they were raised in a white household, and two, they're married to a white man.
I don't think
Because
I've ever
that
seen
middle
it.
part represents symmetry, and it's so obscure that you never really see it. But the movie is just atrocious. Don't go watch the YouTube trailer for this. It's 2 minutes and 25 seconds. I owe you $1 for the time you wasted. But probably the most profound like black movie that kind of just sticks out to me. This maybe it has to be Remember the Titans, right? Seeing Samuel Jackson, I mean not Samuel Jackson, Denzel Washington take on this role and being able to like transition this coach on another level and role reverse. It's amazing because what you were expecting is not what you got. When I went into this movie, I thought that was a thing, but it was something that I absolutely loved. Like it was a great movie. He said DT for the mistake. Because you said Coach Carter. That shit was stuck in my head.
Training Day came out. So no, I talk about dichotomy of roles, right? So 2000, he does Remember the Titans, pro black. You know, look at me, I'm gonna be the head coach, racist Virginia in 1960s. To guess what? I'm gonna be a crooked cop. I forget where was it? L.A.
Yeah,
Training
LA.
Day set in L.A. So literally about 9 months later, he drops Training Day. Yeah, he was not going to win for Remember the Titans, how good he was at that. He's going to win for Training Day because King Kong ain't got shit on me. Which was an ad-libbed line, people. That line is not in the movie. It's ad-libbed, right? I'm putting cases on all one of you, every single one of you niggas. It's so good. It's so
I
good. It's
might
so
watch that
terrible that
tonight.
he plays such a terrible role and person, but he plays it so well. Like it's iconic.
Has anyone ever seen the video, the YouTube video where there's like 7 comedians who are all impersonating Denzel Washington characters like John Q, the pilot
Mm-hmm.
from Flight, Training Day, all of it, and they're all having a conversation about how this game of poker is going. It's such a great movie.
Oh.
I gotta check that out because I'm quite sure old boy from Saturday Night Live is doing it. Jay Farrow.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, I'd like to thank you two for creating another very enjoyable show. We are out of topics for tonight. I'd like to thank everyone who was here in the chat. We do appreciate you guys being here. And Hero, can you? Yeah, you had your hand out. I know you know what I'm about to say. Go right ahead.
You got Saber Dan with that super vote. At what time slot? I wish Twitch Trap would give you time slot, boy. Because I was beating your ass until Dan saved you with that super vote. Right? Right? I was whooping your sorry, I know this is your turn, but I was whooping your ass up and down this tonight until Dan saved you with that super vote, and I couldn't come back from that point in time. But continue. You got the floor.
Man, I want y'all to know. I want you to know. I at this point, me winning and beating Shake is now like a pastime to me, and I just want Shake to know that for as great as you are, the people are always gonna decide to go with the hero, and because your hero is a guy that decides to make women walk around barefoot, it's no wonder
you will win. You will never win, sir.
You will never win with that attitude. But I would like to take the opportunity to mention something that you guys probably don't know about. You probably do know about whatever the situation is. But the World Cup is going to be coming to the U.S. here in a few months, and there's going to be a bunch of soccer events going on. But I want to particularly draw everyone's attention to MetLife Stadium, which is going to be telling between New York and New Jersey, where it is by law illegal for you to walk to the stadium. And as a bunch of Europeans make their way into the U.S. to experience the World Cup games for soccer, the daunting realization of how unwalkable our cities and states are, especially when you remember that I told you in most cities there's a 4-mile gap between you and fresh produce. This is something that is done on purpose. This is talking about a 1-level flat piece of land with nothing designed for parking lot space, for a stadium that is only used to generate revenue but is never available for housing, heating, or homeless affairs when not being used. Where are your tax dollars going? You should be asking that of your state rep in the up and coming elections.
I'm gonna piggyback off what you just said because there's a couple things, right? Hero being a former NFL player, NFL players are pissed that MetLife Stadium was just awarded the finals because the NFL and the NFLPA is literally suing the owners of MetLife Stadium because there's been too many non-contact injuries like torn ACLs, Achilles because of the turf. The reason why the finals was awarded because the owners of MetLife Stadium have promised they're going to pull up and rip up all the turf that has been destroying pro football careers to guess what? The real money makers are the real football players. The football players who play the real sport. So we'll protect their knees and their ankles because God forbid Messi blows his ACL, all right? And it's because he's not touched. The world does not want to worry about that. And Hero, you brought something up about Europeans coming to this country. European soccer fans are not prepared to come to America, right? It's been 30 plus years. We drink, our stadiums sell alcohol. European stadiums do not sell alcohol, right? We serve booze until this 80th minute at soccer games in this country. They are not prepared. Our police crack skulls. They are not prepared, right? They're going to come over here and try and be like all rowdy and riot. No. There's games in Texas. Them Texas Rangers are ready to crack a communist skull. Watch some Latin American country make a run and their fans want to act crazy? You're telling me Texas... them Texas Rangers are ready to be stomping on some quote unquote illegals who are just here to watch Argentina in the semifinal in Dallas, but yet them Texas Rangers gonna be beating the hell out of people. Be prepared. 2026 is gonna be a fun year for that World Cup. It's gonna be the greatest World Cup we've ever seen. I promise you that. If you like soccer, 2026, because this country will be able to put on a good it'll be a great World Cup.
Okay, and with that being said, we will be back next week, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I think that's going to be our Valentine's Day show. So we will have a lot of. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you much.
Why are you? Why was
I don't know
that
what you laughed at that,
like, why are you
like,
cryptically laughing like
actually,
that?
we might not be having, depending on how people's Valentine's go, we might not be doing this show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might have a little pre-Valentine.
Yeah,
All right,
so
y'all.
over here bringing
might be
your
calling
debates
out.
over to bringing your debates over here just so therapy